All right, let's go ahead and hit pause there. Hello out there, D leaguers, big swingers, anybody who likes to hit dingers. My name is Michael. This is my YouTube channel, D League D Swing. I gave it that name to always remind myself of how this started, where it started, and why it started. And that was that swing you just saw made softball no longer enjoyable for me. As I got older, what was a decent baseball swing broke down into what was an absolutely atrocious softball swing. As I got through my late 30s and now into my mid 40s without going out and practicing, without staying in shape, without doing all those things, I couldn't hit a softball anymore. And not being able to hit a slow pitch softball was kind of demoralizing. And going out and even hanging out with the friends and drinking beer and socializing, it was almost not worth it anymore. So after last season, I decided that I was going to improve that swing, or I was going to find a new hobby. And and luckily, I was able to improve that swing. And how did I do that? That's what I want to share with you. Is how did I do that so that you might find the inspiration to go do that yourself. And the first thing I did was do my own research. I started looking up how to swing the bat properly in slow pitch softball swing, how to. And there are YouTube videos out there. There are sites. There are places that you can get really good information. The place that I used the most was the Swing Makeover. Thanks to Bogey. I'm going to link him in the description below, so that if you want to figure out how to swing a bat, he's got years of videos. He's got so much information. It's hard to digest. So this video kind of shows you like step by step how I went through that process, because doing everything at once, without an instructor there to keep pointing out what you're doing wrong and fix things, but to do it on your own, um, was really difficult. So maybe showing you step by step how I went out and then worked on one thing each time until I kind of improved it and then moved on to the next thing. How that got me from what you're seeing there, what this early swing that you're seeing, this terrible uppercut. Um, it, it, this is bad. There's no power here. There's no consistency here. Um, there's nothing here that you want to emulate. So how did I get from that to this? How did I get from where I was in May to this right here in October? How did I get to driving the ball out to the 330-foot fence here? Um, and that required me to one, do the research, two, videotape myself, record myself. I don't think anybody these days know what videotape is. Record yourself, get your phone out, just take your phone. Every phone is capable these days. Put it on a tripod and record yourself taking swings. Look at it critically, compare it to what you're seeing in the how-to videos, and try to make those improvements. And that's how this video started, as I realized after I did all that I have hours of content that I can put together and share. And so I decided to give that a shot. So here we are. So what steps did I take? What things did I change? Very first thing I changed, and even in this video right here, you can't really see it, but the first thing I changed was my hand, my grip, how I grip the bat. Right here, you can see it. And to show you the easiest way to do that is to actually break out the bat. Um, I used to grip the bat just like I did in high school, like this. I rotated my hands so that these knuckles, these knockers, line up. And I slid down for a little bit of an overgrip. Drop the pinky. And what that does is it moves the leverage point to here. Before, it's all the way up here. The more you have that you can get there, the more power and whip you can get on the bat, the more you can hit it, the harder you can hit it. And the reason for moving that grip, sorry about the voice today, the reason for moving that grip down is so that when you come through the zone, it's like swinging an axe or a sword. People call it an axe swing. I like to think about a samurai sword. You're cutting fruit ninja. I'm cutting the ball in half. And when I get done with my swing, I want to have one palm down, one palm up, and I want it to be level and through the zone. And we'll get to that a little bit. But that's the very first thing I did here. And just switching my grip, actually, early swings made things actually kind of worse, because I had less control over the bat and I was trying something new. And so those first swings were brutal. I mean, I know people who've legitimately said, hey, I looked up how to do this. I changed my grip and I'm hitting the ball worse. And that's where they gave up. That's where they quit. That's where they dropped out of this. And sometimes things get worse before they get better. So I changed my grip. What did I do next? Because that didn't fix it. That didn't fix everything. I didn't start hitting with power because I fixed my grip. What did I do next? I changed where I started my hands. Here you can see these hands are level. The bat is level. And what did I mean by that? Well, I was holding my bat like this. I went ahead and started here. And that's because when you start, you kind of want this connected position. And you'll hear people talk about this whenever you do how-to videos. But when you go forward, you throw your hands all the way back, and that's so you can get as much power as possible. It's just like swinging a golf club. You reach all the way back, and you get as much rotational force and as energy as you can as you swing when you swing the bat or the club head forward, and you whip it all the way around. So you don't have to worry about being tricked by an off-speed pitch and slow pitch softball. Like, there's nothing that tricky about it. You want to time it up and hit it as hard as you can, and you're going to generate all the power. So reach all the way as far back as you can. And so that's what I was doing here is I changed where I was starting because it's one less thing for me to mess up. When I start with my hands here, when I start with them here, I have to eventually get them here anyway. So I just eliminated that so that there was one less place that I can mess up. And that's what you see here in this early video. And that didn't change everything either. It's only one step. But it made it so it was easier to go to the next step. And the next step was changing my hand path. And what I mean by that, by changing my hand path, in a baseball swing, an old baseball swing, the hands are kind of going to go down and then up and around. They're going to kind of arc. And I don't know if that's how it truly should be. I'm not an expert. But my old swing would arc around, and the bat head, the knob would come finish pointing up, and you would whip through and drive the ball so you could lift it. I want to, in slow pitch softball, to make a level cut where my hands come down and find the ball straight to the ball. I want to take the hands and not loop them around, but go straight to the ball. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I want to go straight to that ball. And then my wrist and my hands and everything else that I work on will help whip that bat head around and hit it. And it also gets me to that point where I was talking about where you get your hands finishing, that palm down, palm up kind of equal cut. So I wanted to change my hand path. I wanted to get that bat path going down. And this is not a perfect example. This is me along the way working on it. And you see in that last video here, what I do is I actually drop my shoulder. And then bring my hands through level. So it's improvement. It is better than what it was, but it's not perfect. It is simply a step along the way. It is ideally you want to bring those hands from the top down. Instead, I dropped them and then brought them through, but still they weren't looping. They were still going level. So this is one of those things where I was able to identify along the way what I was doing wrong, and that I was still dropping my shoulder and I needed to stay more level and stay more up. So after working on improving my hand path, which I continue to do in this next little clip, you see it, I work on my hand path here, boom, hand path straight down. But what you will see too is I'm also working on my stride. I'm trying to transfer my weight on the swing to the front foot. So I am intentionally trying to take my back foot off the ground. Some of these swings, I'm almost exaggerating what will happen, but to learn that I need to stride forward and put the weight on my front foot, just kind of like a golf swing where you get that weight out front. That's how you get that rotational force. That's how you really drive the ball. Is I would actually try to pick up the back foot off the ground completely to exaggerate it. Because sometimes over exaggerating will help the body remember what it's doing. So, here I'm trying to stride forward, get the weight going forward, get that rotational, pull around the hips. The hips open up, it pulls everything around, and I'm rotating on this front leg to really try to put power in the ball. And I am trying to do a correct hand path here. And that's what you'll see here. Weight's going to go forward. I'm going to open the hips. And I'm going to land on this front foot. You can see the back leg come off, and I am trying that hand path is going down here. This right here looks like a good swing. And that's kind of what part of the problem is here, is that this video right there, that clip, looked like a really good swing, but I wasn't generating a lot of power. I was hitting the ball far more consistently. I was hitting the ball far more line drives. I was hitting the ball better than I was a couple months before. I would hit much better average. I would hit balls through the hole better. I would drop balls into the gaps and drop them in front of the outfield, but I was not hitting for power. I was not getting close. The home fields that we play on are 285. I still wasn't sniffing 285. And so it was still a frustration level of, I'm working on this, but I'm not making progress. But I was making progress, and that's what keeping the video can really show you. Is you can go back and watch that very first video, and you can go, "Oh, this is drastic. I'd rather be this guy right here than I would be that first swing," because there's a lot going on to like in this swing, but it's not perfect by any means. And I had to try to figure out what was I doing to cost me power, and what I was doing, and what I identified in this video, is here. This is a great, perfect spot. I stopped it. Well, I was doing all these things. I changed my grip. I changed where I started. I was striding. I was getting my foot. This leg probably should be straight and rotating on it. I'm working on that. I'm not very good at that. It straightens up as I finish my rotation, but early on it does not. I should land on it straight, but I'm not. I'm transferring the weight forward, getting this back foot, try to get it up off the ground, and I'm bringing the hands down to the ball. But what you'll see right here is this front arm is basically this bicep. What little bicep I do have is attached to my chest. I'm not throwing the hands. These hands need to be out here. This ball needs to be here. Basically, this is a ball where I've jammed myself on the swing. This isn't a great swing. On the surface, it looks much improved, but this arm needs to be out. I need to throw my hands. That's what they mean by throwing them. I need to get these hands out here, get some extension, get this bicep off the chest, get it out, meet this ball out farther out here, and really be able to drive that ball. And the ability to watch videos, to watch myself, record myself, to go back and compare that to what I was seeing on the how-to videos is really how I did this improvement. And it's how I suggest to anybody. And as you see here, I think this isn't a great swing, but I'm trying to throw my hands. And you can see I now have somewhat of a gap between my front arm and my chest. I'm throwing these hands through. And I am trying to get them out farther. Now that creates other issues where my back path and everything else doesn't stay right. There's issues in this swing. I'll talk about some of my issues that I still have and I'm still working on. But you identify them. So change my grip, change my starting point, change my hand path, worked on throwing my hands and striding forward and rotating on this front leg, getting my power out front. And with that comes a whole lot of improvement. It's not perfect. And at times it actually, it's almost embarrassing. But here you can just see just how much smoother some of these swings are. I'm really getting around on the ball, and I'm extending, throwing those hands, and I'm starting to hit the ball for far more power. Now I'm not hitting the ball 350, 360 at this point at all. This fence that you see here that I'm playing on, this is a baseball field. This is where most of my videos will probably be shot. It's 350 dead center, 325 down the lines, 345 to these gaps. And often I am working with a north wind. I'm facing north here, and often in the wintertime I'm working with a north wind blowing in. And my original goal was to hit a ball to this fence. I reached that. I've made it there. I wasn't even coming close when I started. When I started this, I wasn't even getting close to these fences. Now I'm rolling balls at the fence. I've short hopped these fences. I've one hopped these fences, short hopped them. My goal is to hopefully generate and find enough power that I can hit the ball out of this park. And then on top of that, I want to be able to hit the ball wherever I want in this park. I want to be able to put 4 cones out and drop balls within those 4 cones. And so that's what I want to do. But it's you're going to have frustration. You're going to have setbacks. And that's what this is. This ball lands right here. Right up here. That's where it is. And had to remind myself of what I was doing, what I felt, and what you realize here is as you do this is you kind of feel what you're doing wrong sometimes, and you kind of realize immediately like, oh, I dropped my shoulder, I pulled the bat head through, or I rolled over it as I came through. These different terms that you can learn if you go look, but you realize it and you can come back and you can hit a ball like this, which was about 330 feet in the air. Um, and you can really drive the ball here. So to recap, what did I do? I changed my grip, I changed my starting position, I changed my bat path, I changed my weight rotation, and I worked on throwing my hands forward and trying to generate a lot of power, and was very successful in that. This is October swings versus what you saw at the very beginning, which were swings in late May, early June. And you can see a world of difference. You can see a world difference in what I'm doing here. And there's also miss hits. You get too amped up. I'd hit ball really far and decided I was going to take a much harder swing, and that resulted in me dropping the bat head because I brought the knob head up through that. I did slow motion, but I brought the knob head up. And it dropped my bat head, which made me cut underneath the ball. So after that, going back and reminding yourself what you did right and what you need to do mentally focused, so that you can drive through the ball again. So where does that leave me now? What am I still working on? What am I still trying to improve? And what you'll see here in this swing's pretty decent. This is not a terrible swing. There are people out there who absolutely would pick this apart, and rightfully so. And if you know and you see something, hey, leave a comment, drop it below. I will listen. But this video shows a little bit better. So things that I'm working on now is this front leg. This front leg's bent. I'd like to land with it more often than not straight and rotate on it. It does straighten up as I open the hips and I pull up, but I'd like to get to the point where I'm rotating and opening the hips quicker and landing on this front leg straight so that I'm generating power and rotational force off of it. As I come through here, also, I am doing what I'm calling casting my elbow. My elbow's out. I'd like to tuck it back in closer so that my hands come in closer. Doing that allows me to punch through the ball with this backhand's more involved in the swing, more power, and helps me punch through. It would help me harness maybe another 20 to 50 feet if I can really get those things down, get the muscle memory, so that once the muscle memory is good, that I can swing hard and I can take full power swings at these balls and feel confident that I'm really going to hit them. And when I started back in May, I hadn't hit a ball over any fence in over 10 years. In batting practice on this field here, this is Google Earth. These are 300 fences all the way around. I finally connected and hit one 320 over. It rolled out here to like 360. I measured it for fun. But honest to goodness results that I could see, that I could quantify and could really make me feel better. So that's how I got from where I was to where I am now. And now that I've made one video, I feel like maybe I should make more, and I probably will do that. So what can you expect from future videos? Hopefully they will be shorter. I'm not going to do too many 20-minute videos. Hopefully they will all be much shorter so you can fit them into your schedules. But if you have watched all the way till now, thank you very much. Please hit that like button. If you want, hit that subscribe button. Maybe you'll like the next video even better. Things that you can do to improve your swing. Watch the videos. Get a pop toss, get a tee, do batting practice, do all those things, and watch yourself. And then I'm going to continue to do those things myself, and I'm going to share with you so that when I hit that first ball over that 350-foot fence, I'm going to have it on video. I'm going to put it up on YouTube, and I'm going to share it with you and show you that you can go from an absolute terrible D swing to hitting the ball like a U-tripper. I also may do some bat reviews. Along the way, I got a lot of them. I have a couple more ordered. I've got a bat problem. The wife doesn't fully know about that yet, so hopefully we won't tell her, but soon she'll learn. But I've kind of got a softball bat problem now, but we're going to keep doing that. And maybe if I'm really lucky, I get some of my teammates let me help them with their with their swings. Maybe we can put their improvements up on this channel and show you how the little tips and tricks that I have learned work for other people as well. And that's kind of what I'd like to do. So until that time, until you see that next video drop, keep swinging for the fences, everybody.